Hello everyone, it's Jack Cotton, luxury real estate expert, author, and agent. I'm here inside my beautiful, luxurious, but not overly ostentatious Cape Cod office. We're going to talk about numbers each and every week, and you might be sick of me talking about them, but numbers drive our business. We know the numbers that matters. We know that we can make more money in less time with less effort if we can improve two key numbers, which is our pending to new listing ratio and the number of listings it takes us to get to one sale. Again, if you're in a market where you get one listing and one sale, that's awesome. That's around 5% of the whole market. So be happy there. The rest of us have to learn this, and you will too, because it won't always be like this. So let's talk about some ways that we can improve our ratios and numbers. Last time, we talked about the importance of making our listing presentation relevant by beginning with a better presentation. But a presentation is going to be all dressed up with no place to go if you didn't use the buyer profile story that I talked about last week. So now that you've done the buyer profile story and the seller knows who the buyer for the property is, now it's time to launch into your presentation and tell them how you're going to find that buyer who's the likely candidate for their property. So as we package all this, we need to make our presentations better. Now, next time I'm going to cover these specific elements that need to be contained within your listing presentation, but now I'm just going to talk about packaging. Your presentation has to be better. It has to look better. It has to feel better. It has to be better. It has to be quality. It has to be hardcover. It has to be great content, lots of content. The more your presentation weighs, the better. But understand that, people in the high end are often very busy people and don't have the time to read the whole book, but they like having that weight there. They like having 60 or 75 pages there. The important key is to have an executive summary at the beginning. They can read the whole thing if they want to, and believe me, I've had high net worth sellers who go through every word in the whole thing and underline, highlight, post-it notes, everything, and others just go right to the executive summary, but it's got to be there. The quality of the content and the quality of the presentation has to be right there. So some other things you want to consider, 5 more things to have in your presentation. Use a hardcover brochure. You know what? Softcover brochures, clear plastic binders you buy at the local office supply store. It's just not going to cut it in the high end. Get some really nice hardcover binders made with your logo on there. You can even go to the length of buying a machine I have, and I haven't used it in a long time, that gold stamps the seller's name on the cover, but have nice paper, clean type and graphics, not all bent, not all smudged. You didn't set your coffee cup down on a page of the listing presentation, but number one is absolutely positively hardcover, preferably black. Black connotes seriousness. This is a reverent thing that you're presenting to them. Number 2, like I said before, lots and lots and lots and lots of pages. The heavier your CMA, the more weight that it carries during your listing presentation, no pun intended. But again, don't forget that executive summary. Lots of support and detail. Every property in the high end is unique, different, one of a kind, like the Mona Lisa. How do you find comps for the Mona Lisa? Well, you don't. But you find other really great works of art that have sold recently, and you make adjustments between those works of art and the Mona Lisa. It's the same thing when you're creating your CMA. You have to have lots of support, maps, charts, graphs, pictures, lots of I love spreadsheets. If you bought my book, and most of you have, I have all these free spreadsheets you can download to make your listing presentation really look awesome. So that's number 3. Number 4, don't forget the executive summary. Even if they do take the time to read through the whole thing, it's great they can go back and have a 2 or 3 page letter at the beginning of the listing presentation that summarizes everything. So if they want to go back and get to the nuts and bolts, they can do that. And lastly, how do you present it? How do you present it? My advice is to present it like a jeweler. Think of the last time you went to a jewelry store to buy a piece of jewelry. Do they just take something out of the case and put it up on the counter? No, they get a piece of black velvet. They lay it down on the counter first, and then they put the jewelry under special lights right on the black velvet. Sometimes even put on white gloves first. Now, I'm not saying that you need to get some black velvet and white gloves, but what if you did? All I am saying is that you need to treat your presentation as if it were a rare, expensive, precious piece of jewelry. That's the reverence you should have for the result of your work and research and presentation, that you can set it down with them with 2 hands, not just one, not thrown across the table, but treated with the kind of reverence that it deserves. If you want to use black velvet or have a black velvet bag for it, all the better. Let me know if you do that. Anyway, we're going to cover more. We're going to do a deep dive next time into what should be in your listing presentation. But until then, don't forget the first Tuesday of every single month, luxuryrealestateunplugged.com. Check it out, log in, sign up, ask your questions, and get better as a luxury real estate professional. Until next time, make it a great week.